Here we go. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, so you're once again the ROH World Heavyweight Champion, and you're defending the title in the prestigious, the historic Madison Square Garden in New York, near your home, New Jersey. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm terrified. So nervous. And mainly because this is not just the biggest event in Ring of Honor's history. I believe that this is a big event and a big moment for professional wrestling as a whole. Another company other than the WWE, who's done a great job, by the way, but another company besides them has sold out Madison Square Garden. Things that we thought were impossible in the wrestling business, walls that we thought were impenetrable in the wrestling business, are coming down, and it's mainly because of this wrestling boom period going on right now. It's really aiding all the success, and luckily a sold-out garden is a product of that success. And yeah, I'm terrified because it's the most famous arena in the world. There's going to be eyes on Ring of Honor who's never heard or probably never seen any of the Ring of Honor wrestlers or the New Japan wrestlers before. So it's a lot of pressure. A lot of people are watching for the first time just because it's a monumental moment in professional wrestling. I've heard some facts here and there. I can't remember. I don't know whose facts are true, but it's been, somebody said 60 years or something since another company has run in Madison Square Garden. This is proof that times are changing. And to be the world champion at a point in time where things are changing is amazing to be able to say. But yeah, it's terrifying.
And making a ladder match that was made historic here in the Madison Square Garden against Marty, Scurll, and Taven.
Right. So the ladder match, I heard that we're approaching or maybe past the 25-year mark or 25-year anniversary of the ladder match with Michaels and Razor Ramon in Madison Square Garden. That's got to add a little bit more pressure on my shoulders too, because I mean, you got two legends who made their mark in the most famous arena in the world, and now you're about to have the same type of match, and every wrestler wants to always outdo the wrestler from before them. Every wrestler wants to do the matches that came before them. Your first ladder match you want to pale in comparison to your second ladder match, or your first triple threat you want it to pale in comparison to your second triple threat. Everybody wants the second one to be better. And deep down inside, Marty, Scurll, Matt Taven, and myself, we definitely feel the pressure to top such a monumental occasion, or at least do something interesting to make people remember this one just like they remembered the one from 25 years ago.
I've been watching you since Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
2001.
Oh, wow.
Clark, New
The
Jersey.
Pier.
Yeah.
Pierre was his name. He actually ran some of the rides on the pier. I think he actually hooked it up. That's how we got to run the shows there.
I was involved in a show you did in Clark. There was a ladder match with a guy named Rush and Azrael.
Ah, yes, yes.
So you've gone from that and Special K on the opening shows to becoming the face of the company. Talk about how it is to be the guy, the face of Ring of Honor, because you've become you're the cornerstone of Ring of Honor now.
Right, and you know what? Every professional wrestler's dream is to be the champion of whatever company they wrestle for and be that #1 guy. And not only is it an honor, it's like getting that raise. It's getting that corner office of promotion that you've always wanted. There's no higher honor in our business than being the world champion. It means so much more than your skills in the ring. It's also a lot of what you are doing or can do outside of the ring. And no play on words here, but it's an honor to be the Ring of Honor World Champion. And you mentioned, you know, some of the things that I've done before getting up to this point. And I keep thinking back to the very first match I've ever had for Jersey All Pro Wrestling. It was my very first match ever. Was in a liquor store. Well, now it's a liquor store, but it was a bodega that they were kind of using for a makeshift bingo hall. Didn't have a locker room. The wrestlers got dressed in the corner of the room. There was just one room. The wrestlers got dressed in the corner of a room, and they put curtains and tarpon drape up just on that one section of the room, and that was our locker room. And fast forward to now, I'm about to wrestle in the most famous arena in the world, and be in the locker room, a legit locker room. To me, there's nobody who could have written a better story than my wrestling career. I really feel like my career can be described as someone who won the lottery, and that's really how I feel. So to bring it all back to your question, being the #1 guy of any promotion, it's a wrestler's dream, and I'm getting to live the wrestler's dream. It's wild.
Two things. First, is this the biggest match of your career?
This is the biggest match of my career. But I feel like every time a new thing comes up, like when I wrestled Ric Flair, I said this is the biggest match of my career. When I wrestled Jay Briscoe and became not only the Ring of Honor World Champion, but I was also the TV champion. By the way, that's like being the vice president and the president at the same time. I said this was the biggest match of my career. And today, as I sit here knowing what's about to happen tomorrow, I'm telling you that tomorrow will be the biggest match of my career. And the wild thing about it is I don't think I've fully grasped not only the moment for tomorrow, but every moment that I've had in my career. I don't think my brain has really realized everything that I've gotten to accomplish and everything that I'm going to accomplish. And I think I'll finally realize that when I'm retired and I can't wrestle anymore. Then I'll realize it, and I make this joke all the time. Once I finally realize everything I gotten to do and how lucky I've been, my brain is going to explode, and that'll be the legacy of Jay Lethal. But
you have another honor as well, holding the most days as champion, and that's always been very significant in Ring of Honor, because for years it was Samoa Joe and it was this big deal. And do you think that that is attributed to the level of competition in Ring of Honor, that, you know, it's a big deal how many days you can hold on to that title?
To be honest, I don't think that has much to do with Ring of Honor. I think it's got everything to do with professional wrestlers. You've got to be doing something interesting, or giving things, or doing things in an interesting way that keeps people captivated or interested, or care about what you're doing, to have such a lengthy title run. The second people stop caring, then it's time to change the champion, or it's time to change this or change something up. And the fact that in the past it was Samoa Joe who had the belt for so long meant that, I mean, he was operating on a higher level, man. It just, no one was getting bored, or no one was yawning at anything going on. So I think that's a testament to each professional wrestler. If you can have a lengthy title run, it speaks volumes to what you're bringing to the table. So, I mean, it's kudos to Ring of Honor for allowing it to happen, but I think mostly the ball lies in each professional wrestler's court. Also, I make this joke a lot. So I'm the longest, I've had the Ring of Honor World Championship combined days longest, right? Samoa Joe has had it in one sitting. Mine are combined 2 title reigns put together. So I have never been able to beat Samoa Joe in anything. I've never beaten him in a match. Outside of wrestling, we're good friends. We play video games. I've never beaten him in a video game. He's very skilled in mixed martial arts. There was one point in my career where I swore that I could get him to tap out. And in the locker room, when he would come around the corner, I'd leg dive him, or I'd try to get him to tap out. He would always get me to tap out. So I've never beaten him in anything. And this is the first time that I've actually beaten Samoa Joe. But there's a little controversy because his amount of days as a title holder was in one sitting. Mine, I needed 2 sittings to actually do it. So, okay, well, thank you. Thank you. You hear that, Joe? I beat you.
I want to ask you this with all the respect, but a lot of fans bought tickets at the first time because of the Bullet Club. You know, a lot of fans bought tickets at the first time last year because of the Bullet Club. Obviously, they're not here anymore, etc., etc. What are your thoughts about that, and how Ring of Honor and New Japan can guarantee the best show ever here in the Garden?
Well, I actually, nothing against your statement, but I don't think that the Madison Square Garden was sold out because of the Bullet Club. I think Madison Square Garden was sold out because of the talented wrestlers both on the Ring of Honor roster and the New Japan roster. I do believe that the Bullet Club has a large following, sure, and I believe a large portion of the tickets may have been bought by Bullet Club fans. Unfortunately, they're no longer here. I don't believe that anyone asked for a refund. And nothing against the Bullet Club. I love those guys, and I wish all my friends could stay under one umbrella and we could produce some great wrestling, but unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. But, like I said, I think the event was sold out due to the amount of talent on the roster from Ring of Honor and New Japan. So, and also, like I mentioned before, I believe there's a large amount of people who bought a ticket just for what this moment in wrestling is going to mean. A sold-out Madison Square Garden, never done before. Who has run the Garden other than WWE? I think just that alone made some people go, what the hell is going on here? Let's get some of these tickets. So I believe some people bought a ticket just to see me. I believe some people bought a ticket just to see Juice. Some people bought a ticket just to see Marty Scurll. Some people, hard to believe, bought a ticket to see Matt Taven, but some people bought a ticket. It wasn't just one person or one group that sold this event out. It was a collective gathering of some of the best wrestlers in the world and two of the best wrestling companies in the world all coming together and changing the wrestling business.
I grew up here, and when I was growing up, I would go to Madison Square Garden for WW, then F events.
Yeah.
And there was an ad that said WCW was coming to the Garden. And I said, what? That's crazy. But again, like you said, no one's played Madison Square Garden proper. It was the theater. They were at the theater outside of the Garden.
I don't know if I can... I'm going to say it anyway, and I hope this doesn't get anyone in trouble. But a gentleman by the name of Gary Juster works for us, and he worked for WCW, getting their live events and such. I asked him recently, since, we're wrestling in Madison Square Garden, I said, you worked for WCW. Did you never try to get WCW in Madison Square Garden? He said they tried several times and got blocked. And the best they could do was get into the theater. Yep. That was the best they could do. But they were blocked, and that's why they were in the theater. And he also said it bombed, so they never came back.
It wasn't a good turn.
Oh, man.
What do you think, given that we talked about how important this show is for wrestling?
Yeah.
Just, your thoughts of where this could take Ring of Honor post this show, and maybe wrestling in a larger sense. This is WWE's house, we just saw AAA and yesterday.
Right,
so,
right.
Where do you think this takes Ring of Honor and pro wrestling?
I think this, I love Ring of Honor, but I really think that they've done something so big and so special here that it's actually transcending the company. This goes beyond Ring of Honor as a company. I think this event is changing the wrestling business. So this monumental event that's going to be happening tomorrow, I think is going to... I thought we were in a boom period for wrestling a few weeks ago, but I think we haven't seen anything quite yet. Like I mentioned before, the things that we thought were impossible in the wrestling business have now become possible. Walls that we thought were impenetrable are coming crashing down, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Fingers crossed that this is not the tip. Fingers crossed that this is not a one-shot deal for Ring of Honor and New Japan. Fingers crossed that we can keep this upward trend going. If not, I'm glad that I was a part of such an event like this, but I do believe in my heart that this is just the beginning for this boom period that I thought was almost over. This boom period is really just beginning.
A lot of talent is growing up here in Ring of Honor Wrestling. You guys have Feature of Honor and all of that. Who do you think is had the credentials or the credibility to be a top star in the feature here in Ring of Honor?
Every single one of us. I think Ring of Honor's done a great job of having what I consider to be one of the best rosters. No matter what area you go back and look at them, they've always had some great talent on their roster, and I would shudder to think that Ring of Honor would hire someone if they didn't have faith that someday that person could be a champion. I think that's not something that, not just Ring of Honor, but any company, I don't know how you could hire someone and think, well, I'm going to hire them, but there's a chance that they'll never really make it to that top main event spot. You've got to have faith. I mean, that's why you hire someone. That's why you pay someone. I mean, that's why you put them and let them represent your company, because no matter if you're at the top of the card or the bottom, you are representing the company that you work for. So you never put somebody out there to represent your company if you didn't feel that, you know, they just need a little more seasoning, or they just need a little more experience, or with a little more time, they're going to be at the top of our events. So I know that may sound like a cop-out because I don't want to pick a single person or single anybody out. If I had to do, I think it would be someone like Jonathan Gresham, who is a great friend of mine and one of the most technically sound wrestlers I've ever seen in my entire life. But without singling out too many people, I think the entire roster has a shot to move up the card. Correct.
2012 to 2003, you were the opening card guy. Now you're main eventing Madison Square Garden.
Correct. And you know, speaking of which, back in 2003, I really think that I did not belong in Ring of Honor back in the day. I had only been wrestling, not many people realize this, I had only been wrestling for about 1.5 to 2 years. And I'm in the ring with Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson. When we would get together for these matches, I knew there was something that I was clearly missing. And I thought, are they not seeing that I'm missing something here? And I thought I had slipped through the cracks of being there. Like, someone made a mistake and allowed me, this inexperienced guy, to be here. Like, and I knew every time I left the ring that everybody that I'd stepped into the ring with, they had something that I didn't. I just couldn't figure out what it was. I knew it was experience, sure, but there was something else that they had that I didn't. So I never really felt like I belonged. I always felt like I was playing catch-up, which makes this moment tomorrow so cool, because everything I've gotten to do in my wrestling career has all prepared me for not only being the world champion of a company, but it prepared me for such a large event for tomorrow. For instance, I couldn't have asked for a better learning experience for a professional wrestler. I learned promos from the greatest promo man in our business, Ric Flair, with my promo, I was going to say feud, but my...
Your woo-off.
Right, my program with Ric Flair. I got to mix and mingle with guys like Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, who taught me how to carry myself both in and out of the ring. Kevin Nash probably liked to say that he taught me how to perfect politics in professional wrestling. I got to learn technical wrestling from Kurt Angle in the program I was in with him, where I wrestled him live on pay-per-view. I couldn't have asked for a better learning experience. Being in the ring with guys considered to be legends like Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, someone who wanted to wrestle. Back in the day, CM Punk was like the king here in Ring of Honor, and if he didn't want to do something, I doubt he had to do it. And the fact that I wrestled him 2 to 3 times spoke volumes to me, because if he didn't want to do it, he didn't have to. So yeah, it all led to this moment here. And like I said, not only being the face of the company, not only carrying myself professionally both in and out of the ring, but to be the champion of such a event that, like I said, is not only the biggest event for Ring of Honor's history, but it's a big moment for professional wrestling. I'm nervous as all hell, but I'm ready for it, because my entire wrestling career has prepared me for this.